Thank you. And I feel I have so much in common with Everett. I feel like I'm coming home. Happy to be here again with y'all. It's just really exciting. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm Donna Dalton. I am the director of Hope Adult Learning. Hope Adult Learning is an adult literacy ministry. We are Christ-centered.
Amen. Our
mission is to give literacy for life and life forever to adults that struggle with reading. You say, what? Yeah. And the statistic is about 20% of people on the streets, 60 to 75% of people behind bars. And we are in both places.
Wow.
We have trained tutors that work with their student one-on-one, and you will see students up there, to bring them literacy life skills. And also we seek to give them life forever. Because what have we done if we've made their life better here if we haven't led them from where they are closer to God? And many of our students love God. They want to be able to read the Bible for themselves. Tutors go through an extensive training. They are very committed. And I'm very happy to be able to introduce you to one of our fabulous tutors, Beth John.
Woo!
Today. What does tutoring a student mean to you?
She didn't know I was going to do that.
No, I didn't know that. I'm Beth John, and I just want to say, when God puts something on your heart, He doesn't say, okay, I want you to do this, now go figure it out. You know, 3 years before I became a tutor, I just had this thing in my heart. I want to teach adults to read. I was superintendent of schools. I had been a teacher for years and years, and I knew how to teach little ones to read, but I didn't know how to teach adults. But God just kept bringing that urge to me. And 3 years later, the first miracle is I walked in church on time, in time to hear the announcements, and our pastor was saying that Donna was starting lessons in how to teach adults to read, and it hit me like, oh, this is the moment, God, you've been preparing me for. And so I went through her lessons. It was wonderful. And at the same time, my student-to-be was calling, wanting someone to tutor him, and no one was available. The week I finished my lessons and needed a student, he called again and was available. God put us together.
That's right.
He prepared my heart. He prepared me mentally for the task ahead. He has blessed me beyond measure. I cannot tell you the joy that comes from teaching a student, but especially this student. Every day my husband gets the pleasure of hearing how great it is, you know. So whatever it is God's laying on your heart, pray about it. Be patient and wait and prepare.
Yes.
And He will open that door. One day it will hit you and you're like, today's the day. This is the moment. So
Amen.
Thank you, Donna, for what you do and for training me. Thank you, Carl, for everything that you do to make my life so awesome.
Amen.
Thank you for being available to what God has called you to. And I could stand up here and give you statistics and figures. Beth has told you a little bit of story, but the best is yet to come. You are going to get to hear one of our students, Beth's student, read for you his story. Carl?
Come on, Mr. Carl.
Good morning.
Morning.
Lord, here we go. The main reason I wanted to learn to read is so that I could read my Bible. God worked on me for years, but I was running from my problems. It all started in elementary school when things got hard for me to learn. I decided I would be the one who would make others laugh. because of my clowning. I was constantly sent back to the back of the room. I got further and further behind, although I was good at math. Anything else with reading was very hard for me. Finally, in 8th grade, I had had enough, and I dropped out. All I wanted to do was work in the sugarcane fields with my dad. So I did. Later, I got a job as a broker, scouting for heavy equipment. This job took me all over the back roads of the southern states. I could not read a map or road signs, so I trusted my compass and God to guide me. When I saw a piece of equipment, I knocked on the door and asked if the owner might want to sell it. The problem came when he said yes, and I had to write down his name. I learned to hold a small notebook cuffed in my hand so he could not see what I was writing. I dressed and acted very professional, but I knew if the owner thought I could not read, he would not trust me. So when he gave me his name, I wrote the first letter and scribbled the rest, like I was writing it out completely. If he told me the equipment had a cracked head, I would write a C and maybe an H and scribble the rest. I did the same thing when writing huge checks to the seller. I would put the amount in numbers because I could do numbers. But when it came to writing the amount out, I just put the first letter and scribbled the rest. The bank always let it go through. If no one was home when I saw the equipment, I would get a little sticky note and write, "Won't you buy JD, Dozer, or Backhoe, or whatever he had." My number and my name, call. I already knew those words, so I could spell them. This went on for years. Although I was very successful, I knew I needed and wanted to learn to read. My plan was to wait until my kids got into 8th grade. Got into 3rd grade, and then I would learn along with them, as my wife helped them with their homework. But for some reason, though, this never happened. Years later, I wanted to learn to read so I could read my Bible. I heard about Hope Adult Learning and called them, but a tutor was not available. After almost 2 years of waiting, a tutor was finally available, and I began my journey of learning to read. It was so hard to hear the sounds at first, but I never thought about quitting. Soon I began to catch on to sounds of letters, to vowels, and to lots of other parts of reading. One day, after almost a year of tutoring, I found myself in Goodwill looking at books. This would have never happened without Hope Learning.
That's good. Yeah.
I bought several books and read one over the weekend. Now words on signs or on TV seemed to jump out at me. Once I saw a word on TV we had worked on in class, and I said to it, "There you are. You dirty scoundrel. Where you been all my life?" My journey will continue, and I will get better and better at learning to read. I know God has something planned for me to do as a reader, and I want to be ready. Thank you.
When God doesn't work, He does it good.
Amen.
And if you'd like to be a part of this, we're having another training, which Beth said she attended. It's going to start August 14th. If you want more information, we have a website, hopeadultlearning.com. Go to that. There's a little bit of information out in the foyer or foyer. And I'll be available. Carl will be available, and Beth will even be available for a little while if you want to talk to us. Any questions you have? We're always looking for tutors, but we also want to get the word out that we're available to help adults that struggle with reading. Thank you.